Hi, I'm Chris Martenson of PeakProsperity.com. It is July 1st, 2014. Hey, I've got a couple of quick updates for you. The first comes to us out of Ukraine, where Poroshenko, the new president, has just unilaterally declared an end to the ceasefire. Now, he was on a phone call, apparently, with Angela Merkel of Germany and Holland of France, also with Putin. That four-way phone call, apparently, three of those parties did not want Ukraine to go on with an attack, and one of them did. So Poroshenko is isolated. He decided to go forward with an attack, and the ceasefire is over in the Ukraine at this point in time. I think that he was really the one who's to blame here, mostly because Europe had been talking about undergoing putting Russia through some more sanctions. And none of those sanctions came out on Monday, and I didn't see any announced today on Tuesday. So my guess is that the renewed hostilities are not being laid at the feet of Putin. So very complicated situation, but I just want to let you know that it is far from resolved. The pro-Russian separatists, from what I've seen, are actually driving tanks. They're driving armored personnel carriers. They seem to be reasonably well supplied at this point in time. So again, situation in Ukraine, not settled, not done, still has large security risks for all of Europe, particularly energy security risks. So we'll see how that plays out. Keeping an eye on it for you here. The place that I'm frustrated that I can't keep a good eye on for you, for anybody, for myself, is Iraq. I don't know what happened, but the news feed out of Iraq basically dried up. I'm using Twitter feeds from people who are on the ground over there. I don't know how much to trust them. You know, you got to sort of filter through them, see what they mean to you. But what I'm seeing over there right now is that the fighting is far from over. It looks like the Iraqi forces are doing everything they can to push forward. And there's kind of stalled around Tikrit at this point in time. But I've heard unsubstantiated reports of large explosions at the Haditha Dam. I don't know what's going on over there. I do know that the drying up of the news cycle over here in the West kind of coincided with the delivery of some Russian jets to the Maliki government. The Maliki government said they wanted your American-made F-16s. They didn't get them, and Russia came through. So what we're seeing here is a further isolation of America and American interests in that region. I don't know if that's part of the plan. I don't know what's going on, but certainly Russia stepped right up to the gate and gave the current provisional government of Iraq the things they asked for in their fight against this caliphate, ISIS-led rebellion that's going on up to the north. So we'll keep going on that, but again, very frustrating that there's literally nothing on the front pages of any of the newspapers that I track across Europe and the US. It just seems to have completely disappeared for the most part. What else we have? So today, it's Tuesday, of course, so what happens on Tuesday? Stock markets go up, but boy, did they ever. The Dow Jones almost tagged 17,000 today. The S&P was up another 13 points, closing at 63 or so? 1973, 1,973 on the S&P 500. And this is interesting because I just wrote a report about how the Bank of International Settlements, the BIS, has gotten very concerned that possibly, maybe, the central banks have ignited another set of bubbles. And of course they have, not just in the bond markets, which is pretty obvious, but in the equity markets. There's been all kinds of news that should be taking the equity markets down. Now, it's not working, so news isn't unimportant at this point. I went on record almost a little over a year ago where I thought that the market was in a position to correct. It didn't. It powered up for another year and a half. I'll tell you what, I was kind of hoping that it would correct, and here's why. When you blow bubbles, the larger they get, the worse the downdraft is. So it's kind of like you're on a step ladder. You want to fall off the third rung. You don't want to fall off the eighth rung. And that's where I feel like we are in this story, that we've got markets that are dangerously overheated at this point in time. Now, to talk about that, at Peak Prosperity, we have a new pair of reports out. It's one report split into two parts by Charles Hugh Smith, looking at the signs that you should look for to know that the stock market's about to reverse. He's got some very nice data in there about how far extended we are, and then he goes into some of the tools you can use to understand when we're going to reverse, what a reversal looks like, entrance and exit points if you're going to be in the market during this next phase. So that's my report for July 1st. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll just keep trying to analyze everything as best we can as we go forward. So enjoy your summer, and be ready, be prepared, do everything you can to just get yourself squared away. And remember, enjoy your life.